Hey, what's up everybody? This is Figures of Action Reviews, and I'm back again with another video. And today I just want to ask you guys a simple question. As collectors and fans of different toy lines, do you think these companies are out of pocket for what they're offering? You know, especially at the price points that they're, putting on these figures. I think they're being a little diabolical. You know what? Bump that. It's not even a little. It's just straight up, to me, it's straight up just wrong, man. It's a scheme and a scam in the making. I mean, for what they're offering to what they're giving and the price points they're offering this stuff at, to me, it's not right. We got McFarlane, and let's just go to the actual examples here, right? So, of course, we got Ty's New Wave. We all know the news has come out. McFarlane is losing the DC license starting next year. So it doesn't surprise me that Todd would go back to his old ways into charging more and giving less in the pack. I mean, he's done it before. One of my very first videos was basically talking about how the collector's edition, some of them weren't up to par when it came to the price point. When you were talking about $30+ and when you look in the pack and you're seeing nothing different than what you would receive in those packs that, the DC Multiverse boxes that were like $21.99 or $24.99. And for example, let's take Deathstroke here. So Deathstroke is $34.99, and we can see exactly what he comes with. He comes with 4 guns, 2 sets of hands, he comes with a bullet sash, card, and stand. Now, a lot of people like the cards, and I have collected the cards. I still have the cards, even though I do not have the figures for all the cards that I have, because you never know what the cards may be worth one day, sometime down the road in the future. But as far as the figures, I no longer collect McFarlane Toys, and I no longer collect the figures because, to me, the quality just wasn't there. And a lot of people can argue like, hey man, this isn't a premium action figure, so your expectations may be too high. I would argue that you're wrong, because if I'm paying for an action figure, I expect to get action out of that action figure. McFarlane figures, the problem that I have with them is that a lot of them are way too stiff. The articulation is lacking when it comes to McFarlane figures, and that's just the truth. If you don't like it, so be it, but that's the truth. I'm just telling you what it is. As somebody who's actually had McFarlane figures, recently stopped collecting them. And one in particular example was the Dark Side Mega figure, which was $60. That was a $60 statue disguised as an action figure only because the arms moved and the legs moved. And let's be honest, they didn't move that much. It had no bicep swivel. And then the arms really, like, a lot of people had already said that, that figure was trash, it was garbage, and I just thought, maybe they got a bad figure. Sometimes it happens like that. You get a bad figure, it doesn't perform well or whatnot, and it's just, maybe it should not met the passing criteria for being put out into the retail stores. But no, that figure in general was just horrible. And whenever you tried to move the arms, you tried to like move them up and move the legs, they would pop off. All 4 arms would just pop out of socket. All 4 legs would pop off out of socket. And the midsection, it did not move at all. It had it had a joint, it had a ball joint, but it was so stiff. You had to it was like basically trying to twist the cap off a bottle top, you know what I'm saying? And like the bottle top was rusted on there. That's how I felt like trying to articulate that Dark Side figure, which kind of broke the camel's back with me. And I was like, you know what, McFarlane, I'm tired of giving you leeway. This is the second time that I've been ready to collect your figures and you've done us dirty. So I stopped collecting them. I got rid of all my figures. I was like, no, not doing it. I did keep some. There are some figures that I did keep. They're in the box. They're going to stay in the box. And it's just because it's the characters that I wanted. And I just said I'll just keep them, but I won't take them out of the box. However, what we see with Deathstroke, with all he comes with in his box, is it worth $34.99? I would tell you yes. I believe this price is justified. It may be pricey for some. Some might say I think it's worth $29.99. That's cool, but $34.99, if I was still buying McFarlane figures, I'd be willing to pay that price. Let's move on to another example. Let's move on. Mirror Master. Sold out, man. Yeah, he's popular. So let's see what Mirror Master comes with. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of hands and 2 iconic weapons that he's known to carry in the comics. And he has that suit that he always wears in the comics as well. So yes, I think $34.99 is appropriate for a collector's edition for what all he comes with in the box. I've always said that if companies want to charge more, they need to give us more. And that means more than just one set of hands and a weapon. You can argue all you want to and say, oh, well, you know, they're bringing us the character we always wanted. Yeah, but don't be so hasty. Don't just be so thirsty for a character you're willing to just, you know, take everything out of your wallet and throw it at these companies. Because honestly, they're predicting that a lot of you all are impulse buyers, have no control, or no willing to buy whatever they pull out. And I mean, you got a lot of people who refer to Todd as the Todd Father, and they think whatever he put out is gold, even when he puts out crap. They think like, man, it's just, you know what, it don't get no better than this. Todd is just doing it. He's doing the most. He's doing everything he can. No, Todd is just trying to get money. You know what I'm saying? So when we compare those to this collector's edition, we have Dark Stars. And he's in a collector's edition box. But for what he comes with, should he be in a collector's edition box? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is far less than what you got with Mirror Master and Deathstroke. Far less. And I mean, this isn't Todd's first time doing stuff like this. He's done this before. Matter of fact, one of my very first videos was calling out the difference in the collector's edition figures, where you had Green Lantern Batman, who came with like 4 sets of hands, a power effect, and a lantern, I think. And then you had Sinestro, who came with just a power effect and a lantern. He had 2 extra pieces, and he was like $30. And I'm like, whoa. That's crazy. That's like if you went and bought a car or was looking to buy a car and you saw 2 cars that looked the same. One car had 4 wheels and the other one had 2, and yet the one with 2 was costing the same as the one with 4. Like, bro, we missing something here. We are literally missing something. You forgot something. You forgot something. Now, when we take it back and we go back and look at Dark Archer, and collecting is fun, he was the one who brought this out. You know what I'm saying? He put this into perspective. What is the difference between Dark Archer and Connor Hawk when you look at this? Bow, arrows, quiver, card, stand. And Collecting Fun is right. This is nothing more than the Connor Hawk figure in a different color and a different head. That's it. But yet Connor Hawk is like $21.99 or $24.99, and yet you have Dark Archer in the collector's edition with the same accessories, the same amount of accessories that Connor Hawk had, and he's a whole $34.99. That is scammery at its finest, yo. That's scammery at its finest. And like I said, this isn't Todd's first time doing this. I don't know why he thought this was cool, but yo, this ain't cool. All you paying for is a box because it says collector's edition. And to me, that's out of pocket, bro. That's out of line. That is totally out of line, especially when it comes to what you're doing for your fans and collectors, because it's like you scammed them. Now, when we go to Superboy, this is the second Superboy, because that first Superboy with the one with that had the jacket you couldn't take off, I didn't like that one. I didn't like that Superboy. I thought that Superboy was just ugh. When you compared it to the Mafex Superboy, I clipped those pictures and put them side by side, and I was like, yeah, I'm willing to pay more for a Superboy that actually looks nice. You know what I'm saying? That figure, the head sculpt was better. It had more accessories, soft goods. So yeah, I was willing to pay more. Now, I didn't pay big bad toy store prices because I bought mine from Plaza Japan, and then I bought a couple of other figures, which made the shipping more reasonable. And when you factored all that in and you broke the price down, he was actually cheaper to buy them from Japan. But this Superboy comes with an extra set of hands, card, stand, and let's not forget, the Page Punchers comes with a comic, and yet he's $27.99. Now, you mean to tell me that this guy basically comes with more than Dark Stars, but yet Dark Stars cost more than that. That's crazy. To me, that's crazy. And like I said, to me, that's out of line. And I know Ty is coming up on losing the McFarlane license. I mean, not the McFarlane, but the DC license to produce the figures. And to me, this basically says he's trying to get all the money he can by any means necessary. And that means taking advantage of collectors and fans of his toy line. And the reason why Ty can do this is because honestly, he's had no competition when it comes to DC figures. Don't call out bootlegs. Don't even mention bootlegs, all right? When we're talking about the figure line, the DC Multiverse figure line, since Todd has held the license, the legitimate license to produce these figures, what other company, what figure line legitimately held the license to compete with Todd McFarlane? And we're not even going to go into premium figures because a lot of y'all will say, well, I don't buy premium figures like Mafex and Mezco because they cost too much. Hey, everybody has a price point. Some people are willing to pay what Todd offers. You know, they see that as a lower price and they like what they get with that price. And some people are like, no, they don't. They like paying a little bit more to get more, which to me, you get more. You get more articulation, you get better painting on the figure, and you get more accessories. Hey, don't come at me. It was Todd McFarlane himself who said it in an interview that he prefers the look of a figure versus the articulation of a figure. And to me, I think that's fraud, because when you look at it, he don't even make the figures look good all the time. Now, I will say, and I have said it before, Todd McFarlane does make good looking figures, but at the same time, not all the figures look good. Metallo, the first Superboy, this new Wonder Woman. The new Wonder Woman, bro, she got a face like she been working in the diner all her life, right? Like it's 1935 and she's serving up apple pie. I mean, come on, yo, look at it if it ever zooms in, bro. That face just, I don't know. It screams like her name is Betty and she works at Bob's Diner. Like, what can she take? Oh, you want apple pie and a coffee? That's what this face looked like to me. He could have done better than that. But anyway, to stick to the topic, because Hasbro ain't off, Hasbro ain't getting off easy either. Especially when we come to this HasLab project. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, what about the Snowcat? The Snowcat is on his own thing, and I don't even think that might get, I don't know if that's going to get funded. Honestly, I was thinking about getting it myself, and I'm still thinking whether I really do want it or not. $324.99. I might not be willing to part with $325 for that. We'll have to see. I bought the Rattler, and that's because that plane really called out to me and was like, oh man, that was nice. And I thought that was pricey too, considering what we've gotten from other toy lines like Ramen Toys and Valaverse with the Vanguard. It tells me that, you know, a lot of this stuff is overpriced. But at some point, you look at something and you go, for what you're getting, you're willing to buy it. This right here, that right there, that gunship, I thought it was for 6-inch figures, and then I was corrected in the comments and somebody told me, it was like, no, this is for 3.75-inch figures. And I was like, you lying, you gotta be crazy. And then I actually looked down and looked into the details, and sure enough, yes, it's for 3.75-inch figures. And when the one of the guys in the comments was like, I wish we could get it for 6-inch figures, but it's just not feasible. Are you out of your mind? Are you completely crazy? You do know that Star Wars The Black Series is produced within Hasbro in the same wheelhouse that G.I. Joe and Marvel Legends also get produced in. And if they can produce 6-inch scale vehicles, so can Star Wars The Black Series. Don't be so blinded by these companies to think that, because, well, honestly, the Star Wars part of Hasbro has been abusing. They're collecting fans for years. They gave them soft material goods on the action figures, but they have yet to move on to double jointed knees and elbows, which give you better articulation with the figures. And they know that. But as long as those impulse buyers keep on just click, hit that buy button, they're going to keep doing what they're doing. They're not going to try to make any improvements. Now let's go to the latest scammery by Hasbro. One, let's talk about this Retro Electro. They're bringing back out. Now I saw this guy in a comic shop not too far from me, and they had them for like $40-$50 on the wall because they were like, you know what, he's not available anymore. He's highly sought after. I don't see anything to be highly sought after about. I don't like the fact that he has power hands and closed fist hands. He should have had regular grip hands. But for Hasbro to re-release this figure, knowing that we have gotten a newer body buck with these figures, we've got upper and lower articulation when it comes to the torso. We've got pinless joints. Dude, they could have given you a brand new Electro, but they chose not to. They just, hey, we got the body mold for this one, still with the pins. You know what? Hey, throw it back out there and let them buy it out again. Because and if this is actually true, a lot of impulse buyers just was like, I'm not willing to wait. I'm just gonna buy it anyway. And then we have these Magic the Gathering combo figures. I like this Battle Damage Spider-Man. I really do like the Battle Damage Spider-Man. However, I don't think it's worth $40. To me, you got like a $24.99 figure in a $40 box. I don't care about that card. I don't play Magic the Gathering. And there are some people who do play Magic the Gathering, and I wonder if they think that $40 is a good price point for a figure, few accessories, and the card. I also want to know if this Battle Damage Spider-Man has the same articulation as the Maximum Series Spider-Man, because if it doesn't, it definitely ain't worth the $40 price tag. If you're giving me a figure that doesn't perform like that and you're increasing the price and you're telling me the card is worth $10-$15, you're out of your mind, Hasbro. You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. I think they out of pocket for this, man. It's out of line to be upping these prices. Don't forget, these the same guys. This Marvel Legends is the same people. Where is it? Let's find it. Skip. We're gonna find this guy. We're gonna go. Oh, there he is. Electro, the MCU Electro. Let's not forget they gave you this MCU Electro for $34.99. And what's the difference? What is the difference to that retro card Electro that came out of that Spider-Man wave? They put this thing in a big box, 2 electric accessories for powers, and then 2 hands. That's it. It was no different from what you get in the $24 box, and then you just put it in a deluxe box, and then they charge you $34.99 for it. So Hasbro is not above a scam at all. But hey, you guys let me know what you think. I think this is out of line, man. And the only way to prove them and to like put that point to Hasbro and McFarlane is to not buy their stuff. And unfortunately, we have a lot of impulse buyers and fanboys out there of both lines who just don't care. And they'll say, if you broke, just say that. I mean, well, if you just can't say no to these companies, just say that. If you a simp to these companies, just say that. That's my reply to it, because I mean, hey, I'll tell you straight up, buy what you like. But at the same time, I'm still, if I think that a company is like out of line for what they doing and what they doing is wrong, I'm not gonna hold any punches on that. But yo, this Figures of Action Reviews, and I'm signing out. Peace.